Here are some headlines that I'm guessing Donald Trump has probably seen. The first is that Trump is already getting poor marks on how he's handling the cost of living. Most people seem to agree that previously he was talking about eggs and stuff like that. He doesn't care about that stuff anymore. It was gonna be day one, faster than anyone's ever seen. He just doesn't care, and that's a dangerous position to switch on when that's the thing that led people to put you in the White House in the first place. And understand that overall his approval rating is now underwater. He got sort of the honeymoon period that every president gets, although he didn't get nearly as much of it. His approval rating wasn't anywhere near as high as like a Barack Obama or a Joe Biden. And now it's already underwater. And he's basically back down into the territory that he was, at least according to Gallup, all throughout his first term, which is that, at least at that point, he never was more than 50% job approval, and he averaged just 41%. It's gonna take probably 2 or 3 more months for him to hit that, but he's already back down to how people generally thought about him in the months leading up to them kicking him out of the White House. So just bear that in mind. Now, you're probably wondering, well, why are you saying that he's probably seen those things? Well, I can only read from what I see from him, which is his social media activity. And so take a look at the bat-esque crazy thing he said on True Social. The Democrats should lose the midterms based on their behavior at last night's joint address. Pause there for a second. He's saying that in a year and a half, the Democrats should lose in the midterms because Al Green yelled at him, and I think Ayanna Pressley held up a paddle, or somebody held up a paddle or whatever. You wish that's how people were gonna think about the midterms today, let alone in a year and a half. That's a dude that is already hearing from his advisors and from pollsters. We are probably gonna end up being devastated in these midterms. Historically, the party in power almost always is, but in particular, they will be because they're already wildly unpopular and moving as fast as they can in the wrong direction. And so what do? You try to change things up because Al Green was mean to me. He held a cane or something. And their behavior on men and women's sports, again, grotesque to say that, but their very dangerous open border policy that got migrant crossings down to effectively the same level they're at right now.
Yep.
High energy and taxes. I think he means the cost of energy, but who's to say with this guy? Anyway, he says that they should use the footage of the total disrespect to try to win. It's a historic event, your full campaign to victory. And so think about it, if you're a Republican in Congress, if you're in one of these districts where things were pretty close, remember the House is as narrow as it's been in decades. They barely squeaked by. You're probably really worried about these moves, like the Gaza and invading Greenland and Panama and the trade wars and the job cuts and the chaos and handing over government to Elon Musk. And you're like, dude, I won by 2 points last time. What are you doing to me? Yep. And this is his attempt to get them to fall in line, saying, no, don't worry about all of these things that I'm doing. They were rude to me, so you'll probably win in a year and a half. Absolute madness. And before we discuss, I just want to remind everyone what a true disruption to the State of the Union looks like. It wasn't Al Green briefly holding up his cane before being escorted out. It was this. It was a couple of just insane displays of low class hooting and hollering baboon behavior. That's what it was, over literally nothing. Against Joe Biden, who wasn't delivering anything like as insane a partisan campaign rally speech as Donald Trump did this week. And so, yeah, he hopes, Francesca, that this is gonna turn things around for him. I kind of doubt that that's the way it's gonna work.
A storm is tearing up the digital media industry. Only our audience can save us in these difficult times. Help us reach our goal of 100,000 new members at tyt.com/team.
Democrats should have stood up, locked arms, and had Capitol police officers drag them out of that speech. I'm sorry. What Al Green did was the bare minimum. And it is so amazing that Republicans can, who not only shrieked and screamed at Joe Biden during his address, but also stoked their base into storming the Capitol. And in this very space, people known as the QAnon shaman, people with flex cuffs, were basically threatening Congress members into not certifying an election, and elected officials absolutely egged them on in the big lie. I mean, this is, and yet one guy shakes a cane at you and you think that, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened. I mean, it's the same thing. They can dish it out, but they can't take it. Every single Republican talks a real big game. We know they're big, we know they're bad, we know they're whatever. But if you say boo to them, how could you do that? That's terrible. You do not earn respect. I thought you were free speech warriors. You believe in saying whatever. F your feelings, fact over feelings. Well, are you gonna get in your safe space now? Then take it, okay? This is the very least. You've handed the entire government over to the richest man on earth? Nah, miss me with all of that. You guys can absolutely take everything that you have dished out and more.
100%. Yeah, the stuff with Marjorie. And again, look, I generally want to get back to a time where people don't have to do that sort of thing. But I can also acknowledge that Marjorie and Lauren Boebert didn't have to. And I understand, you get bored during these long speeches, and Lauren Boebert didn't have her boyfriend sitting next to her, so she didn't really have anything to keep herself busy with. And so I understand you get frustrated with these speeches, but Joe Biden also didn't talk as long as Donald Trump did. So
the longest address to Congress in modern history. I was covering it for America Unhinged, and I was like, and John, you and I have done these a lot, and I was like dying. I was like, this needs to be over.
I didn't watch it live. Yeah, it's like, dude, you should not be legally allowed to go for more minutes than you have IQ points. I think that should be the cutoff, and Donald Trump is on the wrong side of that line.